It's Thursday, March 14. We have lots to tell you. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Acting Prime Minister Carl Greenidge joined the Guyanese in Berbice in remembering and paying respect to those workers who would have lost their lives in the March 1913 strike.
During his feature address, Minister Greenidge highlighted the contrast between the history of sugar and the bitter experiences of those who made the production and distribution of sugar possible.
I think we can all agree that the struggle of these 15 Guyanese who died on the 13th of March 1913 was a struggle that ultimately resulted in better conditions, better pay, and respect for the rights of workers, not only in Rose Hall, not only those who were in the fields in Rose Hall, but workers across all of Guyana.
Minister Greenidge further underscored the agony endured by the indentured laborers and the bravery they possessed.
I think we must remember those, such as the Rose Hall martyrs, who endured unimaginable hardships, and we must be inspired by their sacrifices and the example that they set. Against this backdrop, ladies and gentlemen, I urge you many of you who are the muscle, the lifeblood, the brains of our society, of our nation, to remember the national motto, one people, one nation, one destiny.
Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
In another show of the coalition government's commitment to the development of all Guyanese, Minister within the Ministry of Communities, Valerie Adams Yearwood, and a team from the Department of Housing today assisted more than 150 persons with disabilities to start their land application process.
It gives you a sense of independence as a person with disability. If you have an house lot and you could probably construct a house on it, or somebody do it for you or whatever, it gives you that sense of ownership. It tells you that as a person with disability, you can still achieve.
That was Cecile Morris, a grateful beneficiary from the initiative made by the Minister with Responsibility for Housing, Valerie Adams Yearwood. On Thursday, the minister and her team visited the Society for the Blind on High Street, Georgetown, where more than 150 persons with disabilities were assisted to start their applications for house lots.
As we speak, we have some lots on the East Coast, more particularly Monrepo, Good Hope. By the end of the year, we're going to have some at Cummins Lodge, and we're also looking in the very near future to have some at Annandale and Fowles on the East Coast.
The areas on the east coast of Demerara, the minister said, will be available by year-end at the cost of $92,000 and $150,000. However, she highlighted that persons who would have already applied for their house lots will be confirmed on spot. Persons who never applied to CHNPA will be provided with free application forms. Minister Adams Yearwood said the CHNPA is shifting its focus to land allocation on the east coast of Demerara since there was a large distribution of house lots on the east bank of Demerara.
We are currently looking at some other areas which we hope to have available, the areas available to us by next week. And when those areas become available, we're going to proceed immediately with the subdivision and be able to have those lots available to persons who want a house lot in Region 3.
Another young and grateful beneficiary stated he first applied for a house lot to CHNPA years ago. He highlighted that one of his goals will be accomplished thanks to the initiative.
It's good to know we are on the front line and not at the second or the third, because sometimes it's been difficult for the people with disabilities around the region.
Reporting for InfoHub, Ayana George.
Arguments in the appeal case challenging the acting Chief Justice's ruling on the December 21, 2018 case continue today in the Court of Appeal. Subscribe to our website and follow us on social media to get the updates on the proceedings. First Bauxite Company has announced that its Bauxite mining project will commence full-scale production by year-end. However, the company has already begun supplying the market with approximately 6,000 tons of bauxite per month in a bid to develop its supply chain.
Besides the project, we are producing about 6,000 tons of bauxite a month, which we are using to supply the market, to get our customers to understand the value of our bauxite and get our supply chains developed.
Bill Rice, Chief Executive Officer of First Bauxite. In the meantime, Company Director Ian Christie says the project development phase is approximately 50% complete. On Wednesday, Minister of Finance Winston Jordan was given a tour of the project along with the Board of Directors of First Bauxite. The minister related that the company has been doing quite a good job so far.
I think they've been doing quite a good job so far. I like the discipline of the mines, the safety and so that they enforce, the environmental aspects that they emphasize.
The Bauxite bauxite mining project is being developed by Guyana Industrial Minerals, Jinmin. The company has already started supplying the market with approximately 6,000 tons of bauxite per month in a bid to develop its supply chain. It is estimated to have a mine life of 25 years, producing ultra-high strength propans and sintered bauxite products, said to be among the best in the world. Work at First Bauxite, Bauxite, is well underway. According to company officials, by the ending of 2019, full-scale production should begin. Reporting from Bauxite, Felicia Valenzuela.
Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson says 25 new electrical standards are in place as of 2019, a significant improvement from the one that existed before 2017. He was speaking at the launch of the 6th Annual Contractors Conference at the Arthur Chung Conference Center.
Over the years, there has been an increase in fires allegedly blamed on faulty wiring and substandard electrical products. It is for this reason that the GEI has sought approval to implement and enforce 25 new electrical standards, of which was granted by the Electricity Sector Reform of 1999 and the Electricity Sector Technical Standards Regulations of 2008. Before 2017, Guyana only had one voluntary electrical standard, but as of 2019, we now have 25 new electrical standards, of which are mandatory for all constructions contractors to follow.
Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson. Minister Patterson added that these 25 standards are not burdensome to electrical contractors, but rather function to protect lives, property, and the environment. Meanwhile, Minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Annette Ferguson, announced the rollout of licenses for the sector.
The Government Electrical Department will commence issuing 4 categories of electrical license.
The hosting of the conference is in keeping with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 7 that aims to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Coming to you from the 6th Annual Electrical Contractors Conference at the Arthur Chung Conference Center with videographer Kareem Peters, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
Still to come, several hinterland communities successfully completed Phase 2 of the Community Development Plan and Integrated Health Service Delivery Network introduced to Region 7. Details of these and other stories when we return.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Welcome back. 148 hinterland communities successfully completed Phase 2 of the Community Development Plan under the Amerindian Development Fund of the Low Carbon Development Strategy.
The achievement was announced by Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Valerie Garrido-Low, on Thursday during the closing ceremony held at the UNDP boardroom. The minister thanked the various agencies for successfully monitoring the project.
Our indigenous people must benefit from this project. No use we run a project, we have plenty money and everybody in a position and we're traveling here and we're traveling there, and then what really matters is not happening there on the ground. So the end result, your target always have to be, the target has to be the success of that project that will benefit. The benefits must be seen and must be felt by the indigenous people.
Minister Garrido-Low encouraged stakeholders to request for the ministry's assistance if needed. Implemented over a 3-year period, the project aims to strengthen entrepreneurial and institutional capacities of the village economy of Amerindian communities. It will also improve linkages with private sector to further develop value chains and strengthen institutional frameworks to support local economies. Resident representative of UNDP, Roberto Galvez, described the conclusion of Phase 2 as bittersweet, noting the opportunity for continued support.
All these communities that are very far away from, services and from other benefits in the country are being reached out by these project activities. And in that sense, I'm very glad that the project is, not only complying with those needs, but also complying with commitments that the government of Guyana has committed itself.
Galvez also commended the government for aligning this initiative with the SDGs, which not only reinforces inclusion for all, but the creation of 194 jobs and 387 part-time jobs. During Phase 1 of the CDP, funded through the ADF, 27 communities were selected. Phase 2 is the implementation of projects such as farming, aquaculture, poultry, and village shops, among others. Neola Diman, InfoHub.
Cuyuni Mazaruni is the 8th district which will be implementing the Integrated Health Service Delivery Network. Healthcare professionals in the region will work to develop a plan of action in this regard.
The healthcare providers in Region 7 are currently meeting to draft a plan of action which will see the implementation of the IHSDN in their region. PAHO's National Consultant on Health Systems and Services, Yulex Fung, explained that the integrated network focuses on community-based healthcare.
It's saying, let us step away from curative care and let us focus on primary health care, health promotion, health prevention, education, community awareness. Engage the community, get them involved in treating a patient, and continuum of care. The purpose of this initiative is to contribute to the development of primary health care-based health systems and thus to provide services that are more accessible and equitable, of higher technical quality, and that better fulfills citizens' expectations.
Having those in the region work together to create a plan of action, the integrated network will be fashioned uniquely to the needs of the region. Dr. K. Shako, Director of Regional and Clinical Services, added that this network emphasizes a holistic approach to healthcare delivery.
WHO defines health as a state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. And when we look at health care, we know that it's mostly the patient's medical care is being looked after. That is why this is going to be called for a collaborative effort. It's not only Ministry of Public Health, but it's different sectors, governmental, non-governmental, civil society, the community.
PAHO WHO defines the Integrated Health Service Delivery Network as a network of organizations that provides or arranges to provide equitable, comprehensive, integrated, and continuous health services to a defined population. The IHSDN has thus far been implemented in all regions except 5 and 8. All 10 regions are expected to have launched the network by the end of April. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
The Guyana Revenue Authority has registered almost 100 hire cars in the first month of the new HD series, an indication that more Guyanese are entering the transportation service sector in keeping with the increased number of visitors and investors to these shores.
During an interview with InfoHub, GRA's communication officer Fabian Klaus explained that after some 7 years of the HC series, the authority recorded the start of a new hire car series HD as of February 2019.
As of March 12th, 2019, about 95 motor vehicles have already been registered in the HD series since it commenced in February 2019.
The only alphabetical letters that are not utilized are the I, O, and Q. For GRA to commence a new series, a total number of vehicles registered must reach a benchmark of 9,999. The HA series began in July 1986 and lasted for 15 years. The HB series started in April 2002 and lasted for 9 years, and the HC series started in September 2011 and lasted only 7 years. For InfoHub, Rebecca Ganesh.
That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications, and subscribe to our website for more stories. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.